Seamus, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Excellent. Alrighty then. So, Seamus, if you want to just quickly refresh people and tell them what you do.
All right, I do a whole bunch of different little things. I do the webcomic at the Escapist called Stolen Pixels. I do a Let's Play series. I do a weekly column called Experience Points. I have a video series called Spoiler Warning, and I'm writing a game which I detail on my blog.
Yikes. Keeping very busy.
Yes.
Okay. What's your, like, of those things, do you do all this stuff just in order to sort of keep a variety of things going, or is that does that reflect your sort of eclectic interests, I guess?
Yeah, it is. Well, I can't pick any one project. I just love doing all these things, and I can't bear to part with any of them. It's actually probably more work than a wise person would take on at one time, but I'm not willing to give any of them up, so I just endure the insanity.
Nice, nice. So we have some questions here.
We do.
Cool.
What was your famous Seamus plays to do?
Your favorite Seamus plays?
Yeah.
My favorite one was probably the World of Warcraft one, which is going on right now, is probably everybody else's favorite, but I really enjoyed doing Lord of the Rings Online. I gave the game a merciless ripping. It was actually a really fun and charming game, and had unusually good writing for a video game, and especially for an MMO. So I really liked that.
Nice.
Sweet. Somebody would like to know what game had the most profound effect on you as a games journalist.
I don't know about as a games journalist. I mean, just as somebody who plays games, I guess it would be System Shock, the original one from 1994, because I'm incredibly old compared to the rest of you.
Oh, nice. No.
And I actually, this is a shameful thing, but I'll admit it, just for your amusement, that I wrote an entire fan fiction novel based on that book, or on that game. So that is how profoundly that game affected me.
Sweet. Sorry, it's hard to read the chat now and hold the phone up. Ashton, can you come ask some questions?
Stretch.
We're really good. Just pick a question and ask it. It's right there. So.
Over here?
Pick one.
How is finding a job being?
How is finding a job being?
Have you met everyone you talk with in Spoiler Warning?
Somebody's asking how the job hunt's been.
Well, I haven't been doing much of it. I'm just trying to make everything work through the webcomic and all these other projects I've got going. It would be great if I didn't have to find honest employment and I could just turn this hobby into a job. Kind of like some of you in the Floating Ready Run crew have done. It's just way better if you can just pour yourself into your work.
Absolutely.
And not, kind of split your attention.
Yep, definitely can agree with that.
Tell us what Spoiler Warning is really about.
Tell us what Spoiler Warning is really about.
Say that again?
Tell us what Spoiler Warning is really about.
What it's really about? I mean, it's about nothing. We play video games and we complain about them. That's the premise. That's it. That's all I can say about it. There's nothing more.
There's no deeper meaning to it?
No.
No.
No, that's it.
Someone's asking, do you play any instruments? Interesting.
Did you catch that? Do you play any instruments?
No, I do not. I play nothing. I'm surrounded by musicians in my family, and I am a dullard who plays nothing. I can't even sing.
All right. As a DM, how do you recommend running campaigns without any combat?
Oh, very, very careful. Look, your players will turn on you if you try it, and I tell you this from experience. I do not recommend doing that. If you don't have combat, they will become bored, and they will use themselves by torturing you. Just don't even try it.
All right. What is your favorite puzzle that you've sent your players against?
You know what? The answer to that would be very long and boring. Let's skip that.
All right. Hold on. what inspired you to start up a blog, which apparently this person very much loves?
Thank you. Glad you love the blog. Really, just writing about the things that interest me, which is really boring, and that's what everybody else does. And I don't know what I've done to make everybody like my blog more, but it's an accident, and I cannot impart any knowledge of it to you.
All right. Somebody is asking, after Lord of the Rings Online, what will you be playing?
Or can you tell us?
We're already doing it. Right now I'm doing World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay.
So it's... How is it different, like, when you're going through one of these much longer, like a World of Warcraft or something, playing that, as opposed to sort of doing a much more sort of short-form review stuff? Is it a completely different experience?
Yes. When I do one of these Let's Plays for a game, it is really play the game over and over and over, and then come up with an angle, like how do I want to approach this, and then I usually write a whole bunch of weeks at work. So it's almost like writing a little novella.
Okay. Somebody's asking what's the first game you ever played was?
That would have been early 80s. No, it would have been 70s. It would have been Pong. I mean, I'm super old, so I go all the way back to the beginning. I played Pong when it was like a game you could pay to play in a real arcade-type situation.
Nice.
Have you considered turning 20-sided into a book?
Did you catch that?
No, I didn't.
Have you considered turning 20-sided into a book?
Or compiling it.
Or compiling it in some way?
Turning it into what?
A book.
A book. So...
I don't know. A blog as a book? That would be kind of weird. I think, having written it and reread it myself, I think that would be the world's most boring book.
Well, everybody's doing it these days, Lots of blogs get turned into books.
Okay, fair enough. And if it made money, maybe I should do that.
Somebody's asking in the comments, do you meet everybody you talked with in Spoiler Warning? Have you actually met them?
I have not met any of the rest of the cast.
No?
Like, they're all West Coast, I'm East Coast, so I have not met any of them.
The miracles of technology. Do you still play Champions Online? This person loved your Let's Play of it.
No. In fact, I quit playing that game before my Let's Play even finished.
So, what parts of it did you hate? Did you like, and what parts of it did you hate?
Champions, I loved the combat, and I hated everything else. Sorry to say. That game was tough, and it was sad, and I was sad to have to say mean things about it.
Hey, how about the for Spoiler Warning? What's the gestation of it? How did that come about? Like, get together on different coasts and so forth.
How did the Spoiler Warning idea get together?
Yeah.
It was some friends that I game with, these guys from the West Coast. I've never met them. We used to play Left 4 Dead together, and they pitched this idea to me, and I was like, all right, it sounds like another project, but I thought, it'll only take me 1 hour a week. That's easy. And then, of course, now hours and hours and hours go into it every week. But it's too late. It's another project, and now I love it.
Nice. There's been a lot of people in the chat saying, where's this week's Stolen Pixels? Which... I'm sure you get a lot of.
Yeah, the past 2 Stolen Pixels, I just played hooky. Sorry. This week I'll make more comics. I'm sorry for goofing off.
Also related to comics, this person loved DM of the Rings. Have you ever thought of doing another comic like that?
I feel like I've kind of done that idea. I don't want to play with it. There's Darths and Droids, which is currently doing that idea, and some other webcomics out there doing that idea. I feel like I don't want to go back and kind of just mine that old idea. I'd rather keep pushing forward and do new stuff.
Fair enough. Let's see, what else we got here?
Someone wants to know if he's a good chef.
Are you a good chef?
Your arm's not getting tired, is it, James?
No, I'm sweet. But somebody would like to know if you're a good chef.
I am, oh my goodness, you don't even want to know. When I eat junk food all the time. So no, I am a horrible chef, and I would have died of malnutrition if not for my wife, years ago.
Fair enough.
What is your favorite Stolen Pixels?
What is your favorite Stolen Pixels?
that is I have no idea. I don't even think about them much. I know other people like read and reread other comics. I know it because I do it. But I don't actually think about my own archives that much. So I don't know. You know what? I did one on the history of games where I did a game for every year from 1971 until now. I suppose that was the most interesting.
This is what software project would you like to participate in? If you had unlimited time in the world.
Something procedural. I think that's a big thing in the future. I would love to work with as games get too expensive to just throw more and more artists and money at them. I think that you need games that kind of build themselves with algorithms, and I would love to be doing that kind of stuff.
And people wanting a spoiler warning of the game of Desert Bus, which is a tricky one, I think.
That would be, how would I fill 15 weeks of content with something about Desert Bus? There's 5 minutes of content. There's the first 5 minutes of the game, and then there's the 5 minutes when you get there and turn around. I could not even imagine how to do such a thing.
5 minutes is a gross misrepresentation.
The great thing about Desert Bus is you will actually, you can play it for 15 weeks if you really want to. It won't end.
That's true. I don't know how to have new things to say about it.
Yeah, people asked us to do Unskippable and all that kind of stuff with it too, and it's a tricky game for that kind of stuff. We got this last one here. Your real life character class. I like that question. What would be your real life character class, and what would your level be?
I would be some sort of engineer. I suppose it depends on the game, but I would be some sort of engineer or tech. And I'm fairly old, so I'm going to go ahead and say I'm getting pretty near the level cap. I think I'm pretty good now. I've been leveling up for a lot of years.
You're at the point where you can't really add any more new abilities?
I'm at the point where I got to grind for a long time to get any better.
Nice. Well, yeah, I think those are pretty much all the questions. All the questions we've got for you. We've got all sorts of people, all the non-silly questions, because all the non-marriage related questions.
One more thing about this charity. A few years ago, my daughter was in the hospital. Had kind of a scary thing happen to her, and it was a pretty close shave. We were worried for a while. But I can attest firsthand to the importance of this charity. Quite aside from the pain that the kids go through from being that sick, it is of profound importance to be able to put a game in a kid's hands, a toy or whatever, to give them something to not just, take their mind off the pain, but to give them something to do and keep their hands and minds busy while their bodies heal. It's incredibly important, and Child Play does that, and I think it is wonderful, and I just thank you guys so much for supporting it, and everybody who's given. Thank you so much. As somebody who, my daughter benefited from that, thank you to everybody.
Oh, well, thank you very much. That's very touching. Actually, one last question in order to end this on a thing. Why don't you post about D&D anymore? Someone says.
I don't play D&D anymore, and the reason for that is that list of crap that I do that we talked about at the beginning of this interview. I just don't have time.
It's all about the spare time, eh?
Yeah, I entertain the internet instead of my friends. And if you think it bothers you that I don't write about it, you should hear my friends. They are so angry about this.
Nice. All right, well, we will let you go, but thank you very much for phoning in.